Why do we care if there's no father? I grew up without a father. I feel like I'm doing fine. I'm doing great. I'm in college. Like, why are we so towards the father? Why does he need to be there so much?
So just looking at, try to answer my question for me. Do you think, what kind of is there any time, and you're being very vulnerable, and I appreciate that, when you were growing up, and maybe not, where you said, I wish I had a dad around?
My mom says I did wish for that once at a wishing well. But my mom was great. She supported me, provided me.
Sure. No, I'm not. This is not a knock on single moms.
Right.
But was there ever a time maybe where a more masculine figure would have been helpful?
I can't really, not off the top of my head.
Okay.
Like, can you give me an example of when a masculine figure would be helpful in my life?
When a boyfriend might have broke up with you, and you didn't want to talk to your mom because she just didn't get it, and you wanted a strong, stable man to say you're beautiful.
If my father was like, you're beautiful, that'd be cool. But like, if my mom was also like, you're beautiful, I don't really see a difference between like my mom saying it and my father saying it.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. I don't see the world that way, because there's being a father to a daughter, there's a very unique bond between a father and a daughter, where you fall in love again, but not romantic love. You fall in a different type of Greek love, which is called storge, which is a father-daughter love, where you have such affection for this incredible being, and your task is to shepherd that vulnerable, innocent girl through life all the way up until the marriage aisle, to kind of connect the two topics together, right?
Wow.
Where then you hand it off to another man, because women are worthy of protection.
So you're saying, like, there has to be a man in the woman's life. The woman can't be, alone.
No, there are exceptions, but it is a beautiful ideal. And when that ideal falls apart, now let's talk about the technical side. In the black community, when fathers are no longer around, crime goes up, poverty goes up. Because you'll understand this less, and a man in the audience who grew up without a father will totally get this. If it's just a mom in the house, the dad should come in and discipline the 14-year-old for acting like a brat. The dad comes in and he says, stop doing this. You need to be able to outrank the 14-year-old brat with another masculine figure. We have a problem in black America. The biggest problem is not racism. It's the lack of dads. If dads are around, kids flourish. And you know who agreed with me? Barack Obama. Barack Obama used to make this a central piece of his campaign. He came to this campus back in 2012, drew like a 100,000 person crowd, and talked about how we need to rebuild the black family and put dads back. Why doesn't the Democrat Party talk about that anymore?
I'm fine with having fathers. I'm not against having black dads.
For sure. I'm saying, but don't we agree? Has anyone heard that mentioned on the national scale in the last 10 years? Yeah, I mean, we've heard about
probably not.
Yeah, and
because there's bigger issues.
No, there isn't. See, that's the issue, is that this is what makes us different. As a conservative, I focus on, if you have family breakdown, don't worry about climate change, don't worry about systemic racism. All that stuff is like these crazy abstractions.
What do you think create family problems? Systemic racism creates family problems. If you take away black people from their families, then they're going to have broken families.
Okay, but that's interesting. How are you taking them away? Aren't they leaving? They're not staying with the women they're impregnating. So, for example, there are 13% of the population is black. Not every single person ends up in jail, obviously. And yet there's huge child abandonment because there's a cultural expectation that is different in black America than in white America, which is it's okay to impregnate a woman and abandon her in black America. It's not
based on what? What is that based on?
That's a good question. Where does it come from? It's just based on...
No, I'm saying, what is that, like, your view of black America?
Well, it's not a view. It's true. I mean, don't take my word for it. Look at Thomas Sowell and Shelby Steele that have done amazing analysis on this. It's that in black culture, that is not considered to be a stigma. In white upper middle class culture, for those of you that grew up in Waukesha or Libertyville or grew up in Hinsdale or grew up in Naperville, you guys all know those neighborhoods. If you impregnate a girl, a woman, and you just like abandon her, that's frowned upon. That is a social stigma in upper middle class white culture.
And it's not in black culture?
No. In fact, it's glorified by the rap culture. It is.
I think rap culture is showing what happened. I don't think it's...
Do you think that the songs that are the most popular in black America are uplifting black America to be better versions of themselves?
I think the most popular
like Nicki Minaj, Cardi B. Do you think that they're like empowering people to be great.
Well, I do think Cardi B and Nicki Minaj are empowering, but when you talk about like
Wow.
black, like let's go like Kendrick or whatever, like they're talking about their life experiences and they're saying this is what happened to me, and people relate to that because that's also what happened to them. It's not saying this is the greatest thing in the entire world.
Does it lift up the audience to become better?
I would think so, because it's like
How?
Because it's saying we all relate to this. We can all like this is our story. This is we can be like better than this, even though it's like I mean there's better, there's not better. It depends on what your worldview is, but I think that rap is good because it can like.
No, I'm not saying it's bad or good. I'm saying like just the essence, the core, the ethos is not exactly about like quitting drinking, quitting drugs, and getting married and having children.
No, it's about what you have done, not about like.
No, but just like to be clear, like in black rap culture, is it generally glorified to go sleep with a lot of women?
I mean, that's your view of it.
I'm asking a question. Is it in black rap culture?
Yes
or no, guys, in black rap culture?
Is glorify women?
To be able to sleep with a lot of women.
I mean, I think that's one aspect, yeah.
Okay, so let's just take that aspect.
Because it's a luxury that people can do. And, like, it's one of the things that people can do and everyone can relate to. Or a lot of people can relate to.
Shouldn't ideally your culture try to elevate and try to challenge the individual to virtue and goodness, not try to bring them down to the lowest parts of their...
I'm not saying that they are bringing them down. I'm saying that this is what they are doing, and they are sharing their experiences. They're not saying, this is the best thing in the entire world. They're saying, this is what I have been through.
Like sleeping with a lot of women.
Yeah.
Or like gang violence and, you know...
I mean, if that's what, like, a lot of people have been through gang violence because that's what's happening in their neighborhoods. They feel like that's the only option. And you might know that that's not the only option, but when you are living in that neighborhood and you don't see any jobs, this is how your family was raising you, what other option do you have? And once you're in it, it's really hard to get out.
So, got it. You talk about systemic racism and that being a major driver of Black America's failure to launch, if you will. We subsidize single motherhood in this country. So if you stay single as a single mother, you get money from the federal government, and it's basically subsidized, if you will.
Sure.
Can we at least agree that if the nuclear family in Black America was stronger and tighter knit, that would be a good thing?
In a lot of cases, yeah. I think if the father's abusive, I would not want him there. So I think it really depends on like what family you're talking about. I don't think you can generalize.
What percentage of fathers do you think are abusive?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I would say it's probably small, right?
Not like I don't know. I have no idea. I have not done research on what percentage of fathers.
But generally, it's good when mom and dad stays around and is raising the kid.
I would say if they are both healthy parents and they are both ready to have a child, it's great. My father, not ready to have a child, do not want him around me.
Just one last question on role models. Let's say there's a black kid right now. Would you rather have that black kid have a role model be Kendrick Lamar or Clarence Thomas?
Kendrick, obviously.
So not the black American on the United States Supreme Court.
No, he's trying to ban interracial marriage. He's trying to do all.
Wow, no, he's in an interracial marriage.
He literally
he's married to a white woman.
Yeah, I know the Roe v. Wade thing goes against.
He's trying to ban his own marriage.
Yes.
I thought I've heard
I'm sorry
everything.
to break it to you, but the Roe v.
Hold on.
Wade.
So just to be clear, that's fine. This is the difference in worldview. We have clarity but not agreement. You'd rather have Kendrick Lamar, who sleeps around with everything that moves,
who is a poet who won a Nobel Prize,
versus Clarence Thomas, who grew up in the antebellum South, who's a U.S. Supreme Court justice, one of the smartest people ever to serve on the Supreme Court as a black American. And that's the difference, is that we as conservatives think that Clarence Thomas is a far better role model for black America than just some rapper.
I think calling Kendrick some rapper is very dismissive and to all the work he's done with the black community. But okay, that's your opinion, yeah.
So we agree that there should be better role models, maybe?
When have I ever said that there should not be? I'm agreeing with you that there should be fathers if they are right
it's
for
fine.
that. We're agreeing.
And last question, you're voting for Kamala, I'm guessing?
How can you tell? Yeah.
Okay, what's her greatest accomplishment?
Probably capping capping the insulin at $35.
She did that. Yeah. What else?
I mean, you said her greatest. I'm just saying that's the thing that goes off the top of my mind is big pharma. I'm sure you're anti-big pharma.
Oh yeah, I mean that's why all the pharmaceutical companies are donating to her. That's right. So, okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Enjoy voting for Kamala.
Okay, so let me just share this story. So it tries to bring my point home, right? So this particular topic really, really does resonate well with me just because I'm a product of this and I have lived it, I have experienced it. It's easy for people to who haven't experienced it to stay outside and judge, right? So this is coming firsthand from someone who has experienced it. So I could remember the early stages of my life. I think from the point where I was born to I think when I was age 10, I was living under the same roof with my dad and my mom. But at some point when I got to age 10, they had issues which led to their separation and they got divorced. And at that point, I mean, I was still a kid, so we're like, who was I gonna stay with? Because these people were separating, and we had the liberty to follow which parents we wanted to follow. And I can remember that time my elder brother just moved towards my dad, and everyone just followed. We all did the same. We were five, so we all just went with my elder brother because I mean, we really didn't know anything at that point. And from age 10 till age 24, 25, up until when I left, we lived with my father. My father practically brought us up, right? And so I lived with that man. That man is I hold that man my life. That man is amazing, right? So I grew up with my dad practically. I navigated, life, and I'm still navigating life with that man still, by my side. And knowing that at some point in my life I had my mom, there are times when I was growing up and I would be in school and maybe Mother's Day or something, and I will wish my mom was there because my mom relocated to another state. So I would wish my mom was there. She started a whole new family. She was married again. She started a whole new life. My dad never remarried because he had like five of us to take care of. So we were enough responsibility for him. So that man never remarried. But my mom did. So I know that I would remember some Mother's Day issues or days where parents, maybe PTAs, but days when, practically you see mom coming to schools. I could remember always having that feeling of, oh my God, I miss my mother. Was I always living with my father? Yes. Do I love my father? Yes. I'm a daddy's girl. But I know there are times where I missed my mom. I missed my mother. And it was because I know what it meant to have that woman figure in my life at some point. So, for someone who, for her, maybe right from when she was born till now, she has never seen a dad or had a dad in the picture. She honestly, when I'm telling you this, she honestly doesn't know what she's missing out on. She doesn't. And it's not a fault. She doesn't know. I know that at every point where I missed my mom, it was because I would remember the things my mom usually do to me or do for me that will make me, oh my God, I miss my mommy. My mommy would do this, my mommy would do that, and it was there because I know how I experienced that before. Shout out to my mom. Shout out to my mom. She's gonna probably watch this video. She's one of my biggest supporter now. We had to reconnect because the last time she knew me was when I was 10, and we reconnected just last year. And this is like, we reconnected just last year, and we're trying to work on our relationship because it's been a long time and we have to like relearn, and though she's still we see we are mostly talking on video calls because she's still not in the same state that we are in, but she knows I love her now. She knows I love her so much. The fact that she brought me to this world is an amazing thing on its own. So yeah, being a product of this, I will tell you, it's easy to just stand outside and think that you can judge or you know better. But saying that you don't see a need for a father, it's just like saying you don't see a need for a mom. Both are important. Both are important in the upbringing of a child. Both are. All right. So that is my story. And that's why I said this topic really hits home, just because it's something that I myself have experienced. And I hope that I just know that by the time she grows, she will definitely know that um she, the place of a father is irreplaceable. Same with me, when I grew up, I know that the place of a mom was irreplaceable. So yeah, that is that. If in case you have any other opinions and suggestions, leave it right now in the comment section. I will be there. Oh my god, do have an amazing day.